Here's the software I really like, Track Attack. Trackattack.io, right there, trackattack.io. It's absolutely fantastic. It is a cloud-based sharing program that allows people to share Apex profiles, AIM files, Motec files, Harry's lap timer files, just about anything under the rainbow. We're going to get to that in a second, but it is a really wonderful analysis tool for beginners. It is non-intimidating. I would suggest to you that if you're looking to stick your big toe in the water, this is it. And here's what you want to do. You want to go here, and you can play with this right here. It says track attack.pricing up here. You can use this for nothing. This premium one, right here's the free one. You can use it and do 25 sessions or 25 outings. You know, outing would be you go out on the track at 1 o'clock, you drive for 25 minutes, you come in, you stop, there's an outing. So you can use that 25 times. You can, you got a lot of neat features. And if you want to know the data system availability, look right here, Track Attack, Race Logic, the Porsche app, Harry's Lap Timer, Bosch, blah, 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 all these. So it's also syncs video. And I highly recommend if you want to commit to this, get on this program. It's $8 a month. $8 a month for data. Would you like to save 2 seconds at your lap time on your favorite track? And would you do that for $8 a month? If your answer was yes, here you go. Trackattack.io. A little more things. These are outings that people shared with me, right? So it's a great way for if you want to share some outings with anybody to help you review data, some of the stuff that I do, or just a buddy, or you're in, you guys got similar, you and your best friend got similar cars, and you want to compare, you know, who's faster and who's where. You want to confirm your top speed. You want maybe you're a racer and you want to compare with a same spec driver in your class. You want to compare. This is what it is. Maybe one person's got AIM data. Maybe another person's got Harry's lap timer or Bosch or Race Logic. You can compare, and that's what this is for. Not many softwares do that at all. So let's get going here. We're going to do some basic features. So let's say you get the free account, right? And you download the software. It looks like this. It's great for PC or Mac. I'm viewing this right now on my Mac laptop. Runs great, bug-free. And let's pretend in this particular case, your buddy, you want to look at your buddy's file or even one of your own, and let's pretend they just emailed it to you. They emailed you a .csv, which is a fancy name for a file, right? And everybody does a CSV. There's a bunch of folks that send stuff here. I'm just going to take this one, Sebring, and I'm going to open up, pretend like somebody emailed it to me. You got a bunch of these neat things. Track Attack does a really good job at mapping channels. In this case, the device that this information was recorded on, RPM, it's going to map it over here to the Track Attack RPM, right? So apples and apples. Same way with throttle. So what that means is you get to use some of the same nomenclatures, right? There's no really deciphering. So I'm going to skip some of this stuff. You can put in driver, car, some notes. Maybe you had sticker tires, right? Sticker tires, and maybe it was overcast and cloudy, and maybe we were experimenting with a new sway bar, right? Just as an idea. And we hit this little guy down here. It's going to import this bad dude. Boom! Automatically pops up. And what we can see over here for Sebring, and I don't know who sent me this file, to be honest with you, but it wasn't me. I'm protecting their anonymity. But what you see over here is all the laps, right? There's the out lap right there. Looks kind of goofy because this is GPS speed up here. And there's the in lap, right? And this is the bold one right here is the best lap. In this case, a 2:34 for whatever kind of car this is. Okay, I'm going to do some fun stuff here. This box over here is the little lap selection. And again, we're going to go over some features. And if it doesn't show up, this little button right here turns it on and off. This guy right here, this little red box, if we double click it and we want to see a different color, more contrast for this black lap, we can do that. We can also do this. Do you see this one right here? This little black one right here. Boom. Now our black lap is hidden. So let's do a high contrast. Let's do this lime green. Boom, there she is. Does that make sense? Good contrast on this. See how this is hard to see? Good contrast is super helpful, and you can save some stuff down here if you will, if you want. Again, this one right here, bold is the fastest lap. So over here, this is the layout I really like. We got a track map over here, and that's turned on by this bad boy right here. And you can configure this layout, and I kind of like this, and I'll show you why. This is the 3 screens that I use the most. And this track map is just a wonderful reference. If you go right here to this little icon right here, there you go. And if you want to resize it, that's what that bad dude is for. I like just to see it enough to see where the reference is. And it's probably Google Earth, so you can go down there and see your line a little bit, and it's fairly accurate. Usually it's off just a little bit. Sometimes it looks like you're driving in the dirt or off track. Actually, it looks pretty close here for this driver as I go around. There's the bridge and the start finish. Yeah, it looks pretty darn close. Whoopsie. Okay. So there you go. If you hit this little reset button right there, it puts everything back together. This one's a little grid button. You can see. All right. There you go. There's a little bit of track map. And again, it's right here. It's that little map. So we got our little black background. Fancy smancy. We got our grid right here. Right? Is this making sense? Right down here for distance, and this is very important. When you first start doing data, you want this to be distance. This is the x-axis. 0 is the start finish, which is right here for Sebring. Right here, we go around, and when we end, it's right there. So this is farther down the track, and this is start finish. Okay? So we're just, what I want to say by this distance down here, see this little clock? If this thing looks wonky and you can't understand it, sometimes people accidentally hit this time. Guys, when you start out, you really want to use this distance. And you want to use distance, and you want to keep it there. You won't use time for a while, for several months. Trust me on this. Unless you're an experiment guy, but I'm telling you, if you want to learn data and you want to learn beginner data, learn it easy, just use this distance right here. I bet 1% of the people put it in time mode. Okay, so what we have right here is our speed channel, right? One of the big 3. There it is. It's GPS speed, and we can see it says GPS speed right here. I'm going to show you a neat little feature. So if we go right up here to channels, and we hit channels, and we go to that same GPS speed, see this GPS speed right there? Right there, GPS speed, not regular speed, which is somewhere, not regular speed, GPS speed. It's the same language. We can find it again. I'm going to show you a little feature right here. See that display unit, that unit of measure? If we wanted to do kilometers, apply. This thing's now in kilometers. See it right there? So sometimes if you ever want to change the unit of measure or it doesn't look just right, there's where that feature is. Usually have to use it just one time and everything's saved. You can also have the ability to do some smoothing, which I wouldn't recommend that you do a lot of. Okay, so a couple other neat little features. This bad boy right here, see this one right here? What that does is basically uses all of this gigantic frame right here. So you can see the bottom of this minimum speed right here is down toward the bottom of the graph, and these are up toward the top. That's what that does, and it's right here. See, it almost makes better use of the layout, if you would. Over here, it's called Select Channels, and that's this one right here. And I really like showing this because it gives you a comparison that I'll show you in a second. So I'm going to hit the space bar right here. And do you see how it left a black line right here? Right there. And I'm going to move a little bit to the right. Well, what you have over here is the difference between the black line. We'll open that up so you can see it. And it'll be in parentheses right here. The difference between the black line and the cursor. So in this case, if you look right over here in the upper right, we are 16.8 miles an hour faster. We're 3.5 seconds after the black line, and we're about 600 feet farther down the track in distance. So that's a nice little, this is why I like this block right here. And if you want to add or subtract channels, right, maybe you want altitude, right, maybe you want, oh gosh, maybe you want lateral acceleration, maybe you don't. That's what that is right there. But I keep them kind of small, and I try to make that track map nice and big so you can see it like that. That's a good reference. So I like these three trifectas. Okay, let's continue. So a couple more features. This and this is the big three right here. GPS generated. GPS generated. You know what? I'm going to make sure everybody sees this. I'm going to make sure everybody sees this. These right here are the channels that you want to use and get familiar with and keep using and keep using and keep using and keep using. If you can figure out and use those three channels, you are golden. That's a lot of what beginnerdata.com does and a lot of the training. It's the foundation. And guys, if you can understand just these three, with really the main one being this speed channel right here, you're going to get this down. Because what you need to know is this is where the car brakes and we go slow. This is where we're back on the gas, right? This is where we're rolling to brakes. Here's where we're sort of going sort of steady right here, not really accelerating or decelerating, right? Is that making sense? And then up here, you're going to learn about lateral acceleration. Remember, that's what your hands do when you turn the wheel, right? So this would be a straightaway right here, right? Because we're not turning the wheel. Down here, longitudinal, that is your hands and your feet. And I'll put a link in the bottom of the video below here so you can understand what these channels are. This is not about teaching you data. This is just about showing you the software. Below this line is braking, and above this line is accelerating. So these are negative G's down here and positive G's right here, just like this. We're not going to get into that. But basically, this is the layout of the screen that I use like 95% of the time. And this is what I teach on. This is what I support. If you were sitting next to me right now and you wanted to learn data, I would say, put up 3 channels. And I would say, if you have this, you're freaking out to lunch, bro. All you need is, this is what you can do for a reset right here, by the way. And it just goes back to speed. You just need those 3. Those are the main 3. Those are the main 3. There you go. You can do some other fun stuff. You can, there's ability to go in here and change some tracks and do some custom track stuff. Most of the time people just do these channels. You can go up here and edit and change your cars and car information. These are all the folks that have sent us or sent me data or shared data. Again, I love looking at this software. At the track, if I'm usually working with people with the Apex Pro because the interface is so nice, you just airdrop it to an iPad with a nice big screen or your hand Apple phone, right? Your iPhone, and it's great. But I'm old. My eyes get old. Most people after the busy weekend will want to look at their data and they need some help. That's what this is really, really nice for. If you have a big desktop monitor, you can see everything under the rainbow, including some stuff over here. There's a couple other things. I would pass on this histogram for now. It's not beginner stuff, but I would go to this XY plot. Very, very, very helpful. And I'll show you a little trick right here. I'm going to click on this one. I'm going to hold the shift key. I'm going to highlight all those. This gives us a really good idea of the outside of our friction circle. Well, in this case, it looks like about 1.1 lateral G's, right? 1.1 lateral G's. And it looks like right in here we're getting about a G worth of braking, right? Remember, here's our zero line, right? So this is accelerating up here, and this is braking down here. This is a right-hand turn over here, left-hand turn over there. I'll show you a little bit about that later, but this is a really nice feature. And that's how you select all those, because it's really kind of hard to see just that. And sometimes if you take those and make that dark as well, it's a little easier to see. By the way, if you don't see a layout that looks like this, the channels might be wonky. It might have been set up wrong and it looks something like that. And you're like, hey man, mine doesn't look like that. First one you want right here is GPS long, right? And the second one you want over here is GPS lateral. So GPS long, right? Because that's long. See right there? Long. And this is lat, right? So this is turning this way. And this is accelerating. And this is braking down to about here. Or about, it's like 0.8 of a G, 0.9 of a G at Sebring right here. There you go. Pretty simple. We're going to go back to, this is a split time feature. I really like it. We're not going to get into that now. That is beyond beginner. If you get the beginner foundation of these three, hint, these three, lat, speed trace, speed right here is 50%. Speed and long right here, longitudinal G's, speed and long, these two are 80% of learning data, 80. Then you add some steering in here and you're good to go. What else is there for some general navigation? Oh, I know. Let's do this. Let's pretend we've got some other stuff in here. We're going to open a session and we're going to clear these. And here's all the stuff that people shared with me. Some various buddies. Here's Billy Griffin. I'm just going to double click on these. You can see it's NCM. And it self-loads and it remembers. Look at that. Lateral, speed, long. Right, and he's got a couple other channels in here as well. That RPM, let's just see what there's the RPM, right? Whoops. If that ever happens, we'll just do that. Put that RPM back on there just for fun. Right, so it uploads your data. I think Billy's running some AIM data on this, if I remember right. So there you are. There's the big three. This is Track Attack. It's $99 a year. It's $8 a month. I think 8 times 12 is 99. Whatever 8 times 12 is. But and I think they give you a month free or 45 days free or something like that. There you go. If you want to play around with this, again, it's a free software. Get a hold of me. I'll leave my email down below, and I'll be happy to share a file with you. You can import it, just like we did right here, right? There's a Watkins Glen. It does an auto load, right? And then you can play around with this. You can play around. There we are, Watkins Glen in the boot. Right, fantastic track. There's start finish. That's it. I'm Eric Meyer. Subscribe to this channel, please. Like this video if you want to see more, and let me know how I can help. I love doing this, and I love to share data. We actually have a website going up right now that allows you to go and download your own data from various tracks. That's it, Eric Meyer. I'll talk to you soon.